Hello, my name is Rogeru. Welcome back to our CK2 multiplay session featuring myself, Deckard, NG Paradox, and History Nerd, and our illustrious host, Glavemaster, plus the 28 or so players we have joining us today. We've got Glavemaster playing up in Pictland. I believe he's going to be spreading into Ireland at his soonest convenience. Yes, oil up the rack. We're going to be an evil character. Deckard playing as the Empire of Hispania, a Muslim character. He has really eaten up Asturias and a lot of North Africa. That is one scary dude. And we have NG Paradox playing Charlemagne, Karl the Great. He has united the Empire of Francia, and I believe he's very soon to incorporate Italy. We have History Nerd playing in Bulgaria. He's decided to do the wise thing and became a vassal of the Empire of Rogeru. An illustrious choice, a smart choice, considering he was right on our borders. We could have nommed him up anyway. And we've also started converting our region here. Most of Greece and most of Anatolia has converted to the proper branch of the Orthodox faith, iconoclasm, which basically means that anything with big, gaudy paintings or icons is viewed as heathenry. It's viewed as worshipping idols. And historically, because the emperor at this time, Basilius Constantinos, the Lionheart, I'm not sure if that was actually his title, but this Byzantine emperor followed iconoclasm. It swept through the empire, and it actually rang true with the Arabic Empire, the Abbasid dynasty. Because that branch of the Muslim faith, they very much agreed with tearing down icons, and the whole idea of idol worshipping didn't ring true with them either. So they kind of got along a little bit, and it gave them a little bit of peace that they might not otherwise have had. Now let's take a look at our own empire and see what's going on here, other than the religious rambling I just went on that may or may not be too accurate. We have Jim Ontree playing as the Duke of Nicaea. He's awful close to my capital, but so far he hasn't caused any trouble. As I said, History Nerd is playing the King of Bulgaria, spreading up into the Serbian region here. And we have an Orthodox uprising, so there goes my spiel about Bulgaria. Let's see where those popped up. They've risen up on the island of Rhodes. And that's quite a significant uprising. I think I'll raise my personal levies, not bother gathering all the troops from around the empire to deal with this relatively small uprising, and crush them before they can get too big. Yes, anytime now, if you'd like to move a little faster across one province. That's wonderful. The 19th, that's today. Good. And we've converted another population. They are now following the iconoclast branch of the Orthodox faith, rather. Let's see if we can min-max our generals here. We have Theoctistos leading our right flank. I think I'll make History Nerd lead our right flank. He's got a martial skill of 18, and that should irritate him to no small degree. And we'll have Theokistos, the person I just replaced with History Nerd, on our left. And our wonderful, powerful son, Prince Nikephoros, who sadly will not be our heir. Our heir is actually going to be this weak character. He has the weak trait. However, he is zealous. He is following the iconoclast branch of the Orthodox faith, born in the purple, and he has 20 diplomacy. The thing that is worrisome, two things that are worrisome, is that he has a martial skill of 3 and an intrigue skill of 0. He's very likely to get stabbed in the back, and stabbed in the face. Alright, let's see if we can crush this uprising here. We have sent our personal retinue, and our personal holdings levies to fight this. Shouldn't be too big of an issue, considering the massive multipliers you get from loading up your cataphract retinues. See, they're going to be retreating to Laodicea, right there. Should be able to crush a good portion of them. All they'll be able to do is run away, as their morale is at 0. Let's see, do I have any titles that I can give away? My vassals are pretty okay with me. The Despot of Serbia, the player Roose Bolton, he wants control of the city of Rogia. So I guess I'll just transfer that to him, make him a little bit stronger. We have just inherited a duchy. The Duchy of Athens. We have no reason to hold on to that, so I'll grant Count Theophylactos. Oh, these Greek names. The Viceroyalty of Athens. There we go. Now he's the Strategos with a 100 opinion. That's quite a bit further up than, what was it at, 20? Now, I did not have a video in this series previously uploaded due to hard drive issues, but in our previous episode, I have given away the Exarchate of Sicily to another of our players, Tundra. He was going head-to-head with another of our players who is not under my control, not my vassal, Screamsy, here in Italy. He did pretty well for himself, but he wasn't actually able to take any holdings. I have transferred a lot of vassalage in Lower Italy to Tundra. I hope he makes good use of it. Good, that uprising is finished. We can lower our personal retinue, or personal levies, and lead our retinue back to the capital. Doesn't look like the Iron Throne, NG Paradox's version of the Empire of Francia, is expanding too much. They were having some trouble with some Saxon rebels, and that is huge. They have just incorporated Italy into their empire. That's unfortunate. Now they're not basically touching us, they are touching us. And they have control of Italy, our ancient birthright. As Roman emperors, I don't know if we can let this stand. But I'm not sure if there's anything we can do about it at this point. I don't believe we have claims, even though we are a Roman emperor. We need a new court chaplain. This one only has a skill of 11, up to 12 for fulfilling his ambition to become a chaplain. But we still need to convert things. What needs converted next? Let's work on Athens. That sounds smart. Yes, the Iron Throne is getting a little scary. A little too big for my liking, but with any luck, they might implode. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen if you... Oh, I can't murder him. Nobody likes me. Can I murder his son? Almost. Almost. Pepin the Hunchback. Well, he's a legitimized bastard. Interesting choice. I don't see the AI make that one too much. Let's see, the Empire of Rogeru growing nicely. It would be growing a little bit faster if our player here, the Exarch of Armenia, had come back for this session, but if anybody's watching this and they'd like to join up in the next session, next weekend, you should play as the Exarch of Armenia. We need some more land on our eastern front. Well, we have a little bit more gold now. I believe we can create another title. I would create the Kingdom of Wallachia, but I don't necessarily want to spend that gold when History Nerd is free to do so. But I can create the... well, it doesn't make much sense to create the Kingdom of Greece either. I have direct holdings here. Kingdom of Anatolia. That makes a little more sense. Now let's see. Do you have any direct holdings here? Did your duchies? No, that's not it. Direct holdings. Direct vassals. There we are. Who is our best choice to grant the Viceroyalty of Anatolia. Somebody that likes us a lot. This Duke here, he has an exarchate, I believe. No, not an exarchate. He does have a Viceroyalty. I'm fairly sure. Well, in any case, I don't have much interest in holding that title directly, so I'll just grant him the Viceroyalty of Anatolia and see what he makes of it. Now he is Exarch Aetios of Anatolia. Good on you. Anatolia is a rather large region and overlaps with the Abbasid Empire. I don't think I or anybody else is ever going to mess with the Abbasids, so let's stop looking at how big that is. Let's see, we can create a lot of Serbian stuff, some Slavic stuff, rather. Kingdom of Croatia I would be interested in creating. But I need a little bit more gold for that. Now, I did read a message just a few moments ago that we have converted the population of Athens. That means we can move on to something else. Let's convert more of Anatolia. Or more of Greece. We have a Paulician province here. Good to stamp out any heresies while we try to spread iconoclasm. Just a little more gold and I can create a Kingdom of Croatia and give that away. Give him a little bit more power up there. Grant the Duchy of Mallorca to this fellow here. And we just inherited the Duchy of Samos. That's unfortunate. Not even sure what that is. The Duchy of Samos here in the west of Anatolia. Just grant this fellow the Viceroyalty of Samos here. Seems like the best use of it. Let's see, how are our players looking? A lot of players in the Empire of the Franks. That's not surprising. It covers up most of Europe. Got a player in Cornwall. Glaive Master's still doing well up in Pictland. Deckard blobbing out continuously. Yeah, I don't even want to look at the Abbasids. Let's stay away from that region of the map. That is that region of the map, by the way. That is all Abbasid. Ridiculous. Let's take a look at our empire, the Empire of Roederu. It's a much more pleasing color, I think. We nearly have enough gold to create that Kingdom of Croatia. I think I'll do that now. There we go. Grant that to my son. There we go. He is not an exarchate. He is given the feudal title, so he is a despot. That is the cultural name for a king in the Byzantine Empire. And, well, Greek cultural name, rather. At least in CK2. I'm no history major, so... I'm really surprised that the Duchy of Mallorca has not revolted. They revolted, as I keep saying, like 10 times in the last video. Wow. I guess converting them to iconoclasm was the right way to go. What is this? It looks like the Khanate of Avaria has been occupied by Bulgaria. Well, go Bulgaria. You're just not stopping, are you, history nerd? Well, we have more administrative tasks to take care of. I need to convert more Orthodox provinces to iconoclasm. To the iconoclast faith. I want to finish up Greece and the upper Bulgarian provinces here. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with taking a little bit of administrative care of our empire. That was one of the bigger reasons for the fall. I'm trying to avoid that. If we can maintain a good centralized power, there's nothing stopping us from, well, at least staying even with the Iron Throne, the Empire of Francia. I don't even want to talk about the Abbasid Empire. That stuff's ridiculous. Let's take a look at what we can do to expand. I suppose we could expand up into Tingri lands, try and conquer some of tribal Russia. It's still very early on in our history, year 789. We've got a lot left to do. Well, I'll take a little break here from recording my voice. So I know I said I'd come back at the end of the episode, but it just so happens that we've had a jihad called upon us, and we've been fighting off a few massive Abbasid swarms. And just as I start this, we have an Orthodox uprising. I can't do anything about that right now. We managed to fend off a 25,000 stack with far fewer numbers fighting in the mountains. And we're hearing a lot of Byzantium OP, please nerf, in the comments here in the chat. But I don't think that's really poignant. We fought in the mountains, they crossed rivers, we have cataphracts. I just hope that we can hold out against this massive wave. I'm trying to offer some peace to the Caliph, our player Shiki, I think that's how that's pronounced. And let's see if he will concede to my demands. I'm sure he's building up another wave to throw at us, but... oh, he still wants to continue fighting. Yeah, definitely building up another wave to throw at us. I think they have been sieging down my islands here in Minorca. The Umayyads, Deckard, have joined in. And we have our friend NG Paradox on the Iron Throne helping us fight against the Iberians while we fight against the Abbasids. It's an all-out world war here in pre-medieval times. Lost another siege here in Avisa. Yes, that is on Minorca. Nothing I can do about that. I'm not loading anybody up on boats while we need to defend our borders. We are sieging down Melatine. We've already sieged down the topmost holding of Lycandos, and I sure hope the battle goes our way. But wars can be a long process on Speed 2 in a multiplayer session this big, so as things progress, I will be back with more recording, and I'll tell you how it goes. Wish me luck. The war continues to be swinging in our favor, although the massive stack of Muslim Iberia is continuing to attack the southern borders of the Iron Throne, aka the Empire of Francia. So far, they've only managed to occupy a few holdings down in Gascony, in the Aquitaine area, but that doesn't really give them very much war score. Our glorious purple armies in the Byzantine Empire, the Empire of Rogeru, have managed to occupy a lot of the Anatolian region in southern Anatolia, and we're occupying direct Abbasid lands. That's giving us a ton of war score. Also, with that gigantic battle that we won, I don't think we're going to be having any trouble winning this war in the future. As the war drags on, I'll be coming back with a few more updates. Once again, wish me luck. As soon as I mention the possibility of winning this battle, it looks as if we're actually getting taken to task here in the mountains. A giant wave has just appeared and ruined our day. Well, I don't know what choice we really have here. Should we give all of our regions in Greece to Caliph al-Hadi? I'm not sure what we can do. Maybe hire a few mercenaries. Things were going really well at first. I don't know what happened. They've just got so much land, so much more territory, so many more men to throw at this problem. Well, we're going to try and regroup. I'm not sure how much use it's going to be. We're probably going to lose Greece here. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles in multiplayer sometimes. And in CK2 in general, it's not a history simulator, it's an alternate history simulator. The start of the Viking Age. That's really not a poignant piece of history for us here in the Byzantine Empire. Well, let's see if we can regroup here, and if just that happens, we'll come back with positive news. But you really shouldn't be expecting it. Hope is not lost in the Byzantine Empire. We've just taken on their main stack that has sieged down the walls, the Theodosian walls of Constantinople, and we're turning the tide. With the help of History Nerd in Bulgaria, the Abbasid threat has been crushed for the moment. We're still at 40% war score, but we're going to chase them down to Nicomedia and hope things go our way. Slowing us down a little bit with fodder troops, no big deal. We can still take this threat on, drive them from our lands, and continue expanding. Unfortunately, this is a defensive war. Even if we completely annihilate them, they still can't give us any land. But we'll see if we can get some moral authority for the iconoclast faith and not give up the entire Greek region to the Abbasids. I think that would be preferable. But let's see how things go. Every time I offer the Abbasid player peace to stop this warring between our states, he tells me that I should sew my offer up in the belly of a dead camel. He's at 97% negative war score now, us at positive, and he's facing a lot of revolts. Unsurprisingly, his empire is large, and without a centralized army to stop these revolts, they're just going to keep popping up. He's not going to have a choice very soon. 99%, one more battle should do it, and the Sunni faith will lose 10% moral authority, and we will gain 10% for iconoclasm. Indeed, take that, heathens. The jihad for Greece fails. The greatest, it seems, does not favor the Muslim faithful. After a string of defeats and setbacks, Caliph al-Hadi has called off the jihad for Greece. Yes, a glorious triumph will be held against Basilius Constantinos V of the Empire of Rogeru. Their attempt was pathetic. Well, things have gone pretty well since the Abbasid Holy War for Greece ended horribly for them. They've actually lost a few provinces to revolt. Actually, rather large regions of the Abbasid Empire have collapsed around them, and I'm quite happy to see that. Maybe at some point, the despot of Armenia might pick up some of these regions here in Georgia, at least the Paulician one here, in the Georgian cultural region at the very least. And History Nerd and Voigt have continued expanding into the north, into the German region somewhat, and then out in towards Kiev. They seem to be going a little slower than they did at the start, but still expanding my glorious Purple Empire. We have had some Orthodox uprising trouble in Sicily and southern Italy, but once again, History Nerd and his faithful Slavic armies have taken care of that problem. We have been dealing with barbarians, Muslims, and religious threats of all sorts inside our realm, but I'd say this session of CK2 multiplay on Paradox Extra has gone really well. Quite fun. If you'd like to join up with us, please check out the thread on the forums, and I'll see you next time. Good luck.